Hello and welcome to What a Crafty Cow, and today we're looking at kaleidometrics and the fertile grids that you associate with that. The things that you'll need today are a piece of paper, a compass, a pencil, a protractor and a ruler. So here we go. As you can see, we have a 12 centimetre circle. And I'm just taking my ruler and I'm intersecting that circle straight through the centre line. And then getting a protractor on the 90-degree angle. And marking points at 60 and 120 degrees to your left. Flipping it over to the right section, 60 degrees and 120. At this point, taking a ruler again and joining through the 60 degree to the 120 degree point and reversing that through 60 and 120 degrees again. And that gives you stage 1 of a 6 divided circle. Moving on now to stage 2, where we're not going to join each point to its neighbours, but we're going to join it to the 3 other points. And this will give you an equilateral triangle. And then following that through the opposing points in the reverse to create a second equilateral triangle. And when this is achieved, you'll find that you have a beautifully geometric 6-pointed star. That takes us into stage 3. I've swapped here to a clear plastic ruler purely so that you can see what I'm doing. You can use any type of straight edge that you wish. As long as it's straight, that's all that matters. So what we're doing here in stage 3 is we're drawing an additional line through each of the intersections, and we're dividing the circumference into 12 equal parts. Now we've achieved this, we move into stage 4. We're going to complete those triangles for the 6 new points exactly as we did for the first 6. So you're rotating equilateral triangles on top of each other, all through the circle. And moving on to the last one. Point 1, 2, 3. Joining those sections together and giving you the perfect 12-pointed star. Second line. And finally coming along the base there for the third line. And that's the completed stage 4, which means you're now ready to move into stage 5, where you join each point to its neighbour but 2. And this will give us the basic 12-point grid, which is the starting point for many kaleidometric designs. Again, there we go, counting out 2 and joining it to its opposing neighbour. 1, 2, there's your anchor point. And joining it together. 1, 2, anchor point. And joining it to its neighbour. And you'll notice 1, 2, 3, 4. That gives you a perfect square. Finding your next anchor point, 1, 2, second anchor point, joining it to its opposing neighbour, 1, 2, anchor point, and join them together. Obviously, if you have to stop the video at any point whilst you're doing this, that's fine. You don't want to find yourself getting in a mess, and it's far better to just stop and go back and repeat a few sections a couple of times. Counting 1, 2, final 2 anchor points on this rotation. Creating another square. There's 3 squares rotations in this particular design. Finding our last single anchor point, counting 2 to the second anchor point, and joining them together. 1, 2, and there's your point. And we're joining it together across the side there as well. Anchor point, 1, 2, joining it together. And there we have your final square. Last line. Giving you 1, 2, 3, 4 for your final square. And that completes stage 5. Moving on to stage 6. We're going to do a final 6 lines through the centre and the points of intersection, and we're going to divide the circle into 24 points. Just moving round now. This is the last point of this section of basic grid. You can create all sorts of wonderful patterns after this. There's many directions you can take it in, but this is the very basic first grid. For example, if you fill the centre in with 12 more 12-pointed stars, that's known as the 12-24 basic grid, and apparently that's one of the most useful and fertile that you can use, but we're just going to start with the basic grid for today. Coming in with our final line through the centre. And there we go. That's your basic fertile grid. So moving on now, obviously once you have your basic grid, then it's time to become creative. So as you can see, I've just picked up my compass. I'm just going to draw a circle in the centre here. This is the part where you can take it wherever you want to go. I never plan the pieces of artwork that I do. As you can see, just coming in on the top right here, it's my spirograph. I use this quite a lot. If you go on my Instagram page, @watercraftycow, you'll see that the work I do gets very small in the centre of the picture. And this is how I do it, because you have infinite versions that you can do with these wheels. I'm taking some time here just to line up the grids on the spirograph using a little bit of Spiro putty to hold it in place. See, that's my centre line, that's my horizon line. And by doing a 12 centimetre grid, you'll find that you'll get a perfect 6 centimetre circle in the centre, which fits the diameter of the spirograph really, really well. Taking a 60 cog and lining up the number 1 hole through the centre line. Pop it exactly on the line into place. Take your pencil. In we go, and we're off. Round and round and round. Takes a little bit of practice. As you can see, I've got a fuzzy little bundle. Just popped his nose in at the top of the recording here. His name's Doug, he's my cat. But these videos take a while to do and I didn't really want to have to restart, so I thought I'd leave his appearance in. He does like the camera. Taking the cog again. Moving through the centre line to a hole adjacent to the first, again on a 60 cog. Moving around, very quick. You'll notice there's a chunk missing there. Doug made another appearance very briefly. So this is my grid that I'm doing for today. And take my compass again, just whip through the centre points a couple of times. As I say, I don't plan these pieces of artwork that I do on my art account on Instagram, which is again at watercraftycow. You'll see that the work that I do is circular in format. I do a lot of Celtic knotwork as well. And I love sharing my work and I get some fantastic comments on there of people, and that's what I'm trying to achieve with these videos that I'm doing. So now I'm just going to move into a bit of time lapse because this is at the heart of it really. You have these fantastic colouring books at the moment by Joanna Bashford and a lot of others. And from an art therapy basis, they're really helping to relieve stress and anxiety in a whole community of people at the moment. And they're great and they're fantastic, but how lovely is it to be able to create your own piece of artwork? And that's what I want to do here, is empower you to be able to create your own. Throwing a few little lines in, a few horizontals, a few verticals. It's my glaze pen, I've used that on others. And there you have the finished article. Thank you for joining me today. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and please visit me over at watercraftycow on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook. Let me know what you'd like to see next. I'll see you all again soon.